Hi guys, my name is Andrey and I live in Russia. I travel across the country to show you what life here really looks like. Not Moscow, not even Saint Petersburg. I want to take you beyond the postcards, to the real towns, roads and villages. The deep Russia. My English? Sorry, it's not perfect. But I realized that almost no one shows real Russia in English. So I decided to try. And yes, I may make mistakes, but I'll do my best to show you the truth. Right now, YouTube is mostly blocked in Russia, but I still love making videos. So if I can do it here, I'll do it for you. And today, it begins. We are driving from Saint Petersburg to Kazan. It's a journey of over 1,700 kilometers. And believe it or not, that's not even a third, not even a quarter of the country. Because this is Russia, the biggest country in the world. And I'll show you what it really looks like. So, there are two ways to get from St. Petersburg to Kazan. One way, the obvious one, goes through Moscow. Fast toll roads, smooth ride, but not much to see. The other way, small towns, old roads, quiet villages, real Russia. And that's where I'm going. Right now we are driving on the Kola highway. It goes all the way to Murmansk, the biggest city on the north of Russia. And fun fact, Murmansk is the largest city in the world, above the Arctic Circle. This road has only 2 lanes, so it's a little bit difficult to driving, but the most Russian roads the same, unfortunately. And what about 4-lane highways? Well, you'll mostly find them near big cities or on toll roads. Most roads in Russia it's 2 lanes, no divider, and good luck overtaking. And don't forget, this country is massive. We've got over 1.5 million kilometers of roads. Still feels like it's not enough. Anyway, speaking of roads, it's time to refuel. I think I should tell you about fuel prices in Russia. We use the metric systems here, so the fuel is sold by liters, but my American friends, don't worry, I'll convert it per gallons. 1 liter of diesel, yeah, my car runs on diesel, costs 72 rubles, that's about 90 American cents. Gasoline is cheaper, 1 liter is 62 rubles, it's about 80 American cents. Not bad, right? Fuel in Russia is pretty cheap compared to the West. Why? Russia is a top oil producer, and local prices are still regulated. This station is called Tatneft. It's based in Tatarstan, 1,500 kilometers from here. Yep, the fuel traveled halfway across European Russia and still costs about the same as everywhere else. The station, it's pretty standard. Coffee machines, snacks, hot dogs, some groceries. But be warned, food here is expensive. 2 or 3 times pricier than in regular stores. Buying snacks at a gas station, that's luxury living in Russia. So instead of grabbing overpriced gas station coffee, I stop at a grocery store. This one's called Peterочка. It's one of the biggest retail chains in Russia, with thousands of stores across the country. And yes, they actually have self-service coffee machines right inside the store. You walk in, grab a cup, press a button and boom! It costs only 99 rubles, it's about $1.20. And it's not great, not terrible, but it's okay, it's a normal coffee. Alright, coffee secured, now back to the road. We've still got about 550 kilometers to go today. That's like the distance from New York to Washington and back. A typical day for a Russian driver. We were driving through fields and forests and stopped by in this beautiful field. There is spring in Russia. I really like this season because the nature is waking up and it's warm, about 16 degrees.
Very, very beautiful.
This is most of Russia. Forests, fields and quiet roads like this one. Spring here isn't just a season, you feel it. Everything slowly wakes up after a long cold winter. And fun fact, Russia has more forests than any country on earth. Over 800 million hectares of trees.
So guys, I am almost ready to introduce you the first city of our trip. It's called Tikhvin and it's located in the Leningrad region. And we see tank because of memories of World War II.
You will see monuments like this all over Russia, in town squares, by the roads, near schools. They are not just decoration. For Russians, World War II, or as we call it, the Great Patriotic War, is still a huge part of national memory. Even the smallest villages have a war memorial. And what about Tikhvin? It played a key role, helping restore the supply line to blockaded Leningrad.
Guys, we decided to stop in a small town on the way. It's called Tikhvin. About 50,000 people live here and it feels like a little piece of old authentic Russia. Take a look.
Tikhvin is not a tourist place. You won't find it in travel blogs or guidebooks. But for me, towns like this show the real Russia. Small streets, old wooden houses, churches with onion domes. Life here is slow and quiet, like it was many years ago.
If you know something about Russia, that's it is. It's a real Russian landscape with a church, with men who fishing in this river.
A river, a church, a man fishing. Classic Russia. You'll see this scene in every second town, and somehow it always feels just right.
Russia likes you, my English-speaking friend, because we have description in English and you can learn about this place in English, in your native language. Frishovaya Mountain. Wooden houses located on a hill on the right. In former times there was a separate village called Frishovaya Mountain. In the 17th century it was in the possession of the fourth wife of Ivan the Terrible, who became the abbess of the Densky monastery. So, if you want to travel in Russia, you can find this description and know about the history of Russia in your native language. That's good.
Some places in Russia now have English signs, like this one. That's nice. But here's the truth. Very few people actually speak English. We all study it at school, but the system it's not great. I had English classes for 5 years and learned almost nothing. What I speak now I learned on my own. So yeah, signs help, but don't expect many conversations. The famous Russian composer Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov was born right here, in Tikhvin. You probably know his Flight of a Bumblebee, even if you don't know, you know it. His childhood home is now a small museum, and right next to it, something unexpected.
Look, it's very interesting. It's not only the church, it's also concert hall of Museum Rimsky-Korsakov. It's closed.
In towns like this, churches and monasteries are everywhere. Most are centuries old, and they shape the whole skyline. But keep in mind, most young Russians today aren't religious. These places are more about history and atmosphere than faith. Still, the bells ring, the domes shine, and nothing says Russia like this view.
In Tikhvin we can see typical Russia. There are gods who eats tree, and it's a Russian tree bereza, and flowers. These flowers we called aduvanchiki, and typical Russian landscape: small houses, trees, wooden fences. Hey, in Russian we called gods Kaza. Kaza, хватит есть уже дерево. Stop eating the tree.
After leaving Tikhvin, we keep heading east. About 125 kilometers later, boom, where it is, a big road sign. That means one thing. We've entered a new federal region. And trust me, there are lots of them.
We are leaving Leningrad region and entering Vologda region. In Russia we have almost 90 regions like this, and each one is huge. For example, Leningrad region is bigger than Czech Republic or Austria and almost the size of Portugal. So I can tell you that we have almost 90 countries in one country. That's Russia.
And what's the largest region in Russia? That's Yakutia, also known as the Republic of Sakha. It's huge, almost as big as India. Yes, the whole country. It takes up nearly 2% of all land on Earth. And it's just one region. Crazy, right?
Because of size in my country, we often have problems with signal on phone in trips. As you can see, I have 2 year SIM in my phone, but I don't have internet right now, and I don't have it for about 20 minutes because we are in the middle of nowhere. Only road, only forests, and some cars on oncoming lane.
In Russia, once you leave big cities or highways, good luck with mobile signal. Coverage not great. It's totally normal to drive for quite a while with no bars, no internet, nothing. Just you, the road, and our national offline mode. It's already evening. We've covered about 550 kilometers today, through forests, fields and a few half-forgotten villages. At one point, a couple of moose ran across the road. Didn't catch it on camera, just Russia doing Russia things. And now, welcome to Cherepovets. From the road it looks intense. Smokestacks, factories, grey skies. This is a real working-class Russian city, built around heavy industry, a city of labor, a city of steel.
I know what I say, and this city looks much better than our small cities in Russia.
In many Russian cities, everything depends on the big factory. If the factory is doing well, so is the town. That's the story of Cherepovets. It's home to one of Russia's biggest steel plants. And you can tell, the city center is clean, organized, even stylish.
There is a lot of wooden architecture preserved in this city, and that's a good example.
Old wooden houses like this are still a regular sight in Russian cities, especially up north. They are just part of the everyday landscape. But it's not just the buildings. Sometimes the bus rolls right by you, like this.
This car is Kopeyka. It's VAZ 2101, and it's a legendary car in Russia.
This was the first mass car in the USSR, a Soviet version of the Italian Fiat. In the 70s and 80s everyone wanted one. Now it's a classic, but not all classics got old nicely. Many were super cheap and got upgrades the Russian way, like Pimp My Ride, but with duct tape and bad taste. A lot of these old cars ended up in, let's say, creative hands, and often they became part of a very special Russian tradition.
It's one of the main traditions in small Russian towns. People here really like to listen to music really loudly.
Finding a place to stay in Russia isn't always easy. Hotels can be pricey, not because they are great, but because there is just not much choice. So most people rent apartments instead. Airbnb doesn't work in Russia anymore. We use a local site, like Craigslist, but for flats. And this is where I'm staying tonight, in Cherepovets.
This apartment in Cherepovets cost me 3,500 rubles. That's about 40 American dollars. Honestly, for that price, I'm just calling it my Cherepovets penthouse. I'm tired.
So, that was just one day on the road. 550 kilometers, a few small towns, some Soviet cars, a goat eating a tree. Classic Russia. I hope you liked it. This is all new for me. I've been making travel videos in Russian for years, but now, with YouTube blocked here, I'm starting over. In English. It's not my native language, I mess up sometimes. But I'm trying, and I'll keep getting better. Right now your support means everything for me. So if you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. I grew up in Russia, I live here, and I want to show you this country from the inside, not through the headlines. Tell me what you are curious about, what do you want to see. I read every comment and I'll try to include your ideas in future episodes. There is a lot more coming, we've only just begun. Thanks for being here, my name is Andrey Vasiliskov and I'm here to show you the real Russia.